Hey everyone, Chris Hansen here of Hansen vs. Predators and Catch Your Predator. Why don't you have a seat right over there and listen to Kyle and Brandon, our podcast. According to my chat logs, Kyle and Brandon have interesting guests.
No, I hated it.
Yeah.
Everybody's sweaty, everybody's on drugs, so they're super sweaty but also touchy. And then they touch your face, then you leave there, and the next day you have pimples.
Fantastic conversation.
He's underground in a lab, floating in a tank of water because he almost died.
And most important, no predators.
Here at Intoxicated Reviews, we intellectually dissect the art of cinema, scene by scene. Here's some clips.
All he is, it's just a fucking big wooden doll full of cum, chasing kids around.
You look up guys who poop in a bag. 'Cause I think that's where you'll find him. Because he is hurt.
It's probably just in your search history anyway, isn't it?
This movie fucking blows.
So don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews on all places you find podcasts. Except Spotify. We're working on it.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Oh, hey, Internet. Welcome back to the Intoxicated Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah McClellan, and if you're new to this podcast, this is a comedy variety talk show where I shoot the shit with comedians, creators, and characters about the messiness of life. Guys, I'm very excited for you to hear this week's episode. I am taking a little break from talking with comedians because I've been talking to comedians a lot, and I've also been talking about comedy a lot because I've started doing it. I've done 3 sets so far, and I encourage everybody to check out the YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/intoxicated for a little series I'm doing about my journey in starting stand-up. Part 3 should be coming soon. It's a lot of work, but I plan on getting that final part up very soon. But guys, this week's guest is David Rossetti, and he is somebody I met a long time ago at a local bar doing karaoke every Tuesday. And the bar that we actually met at was where Intoxicated was born. It's where I came up with the idea for the show, so it's very special. He is an actor and a DJ, and he is in a brand new movie out with Chelsea Perretti called Spinster, and you guys need to watch this movie. It is fucking fantastic. It was filmed all locally here in Halifax. Truly, truly amazing. This is a movie about self-discovery and finding yourself from the perspective of Chelsea Perretti's character, who is a 39-year-old woman who is just, grappling with life and the complicatedness of all of that. And you definitely need to watch it. Watch it after you listen to this episode, or pause it right here, go watch the movie, and come back and listen to this episode where we talk about it with David Rossetti. So I loved this. This was really different. We did talk a lot about acting and the process of acting, and just about his experience in filming this awesome movie. Actors, like comedians, they do have to self-motivate. They are self-employed. So a lot of things do translate over to stand-up. And the other interesting thing is Dave's character in the movie is a stand-up comedian. So it worked out really well. This was an awesome conversation and so much fucking fun. I love just having different kinds of people on this podcast. Like I've always said, it's creators and characters in addition to comedians. So this was a real fucking treat. I almost forgot to tell you where you can find the movie Spinster. It is available on iTunes, that is where I watched it, Amazon, and various other video on demand platforms. And if you want to check out all the awesome stuff that Dave has done, you can check out his website, davidrossetti.ca, and that is with 2 S's and 2 T's. Check that out. How cool is it that I had someone on the podcast who's been in a movie? That's pretty fucking cool. So guys, do make sure you're following Intoxicated on social media. That is Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast. On Twitter, we are at _intoxicated. Big thank you to all the Patreons of the show. And if you are interested in signing up for that, you can check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/intoxicated. And you can email your questions, comments, feedback, guest suggestions, anything you want to intoxicatedpodcast@gmail.com. I'm going to shut up now and get to this awesome interview with David Rossetti. All right. I suck at names and pronouncing names, so I always double check.
Oh, it's perfect.
Because I don't think I've ever said your like you've just always been Dave to me.
Yeah, just Dave the Frog. Karaoke
Dave
guy.
the Frog. Oh my gosh, this is wild. I'm very, very excited to be here on the Intoxicated Podcast with a very special guest. Something a little different for you guys. You guys are used to comedians, but today we have a DJ and actor.
Oh, yes.
Dave Rossetti is here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Sarah. It's really great to be on your show.
Oh my gosh, and you've done, so name some of your credits. You've done Trailer Park Boys, you've done Digstown.
Yeah, I was probably most known for the 3-season role on Trailer Park Boys as
That's amazing.
The slingshot guy.
The slingshot guy.
Yeah, they would pull out guns and I'd pull out a slingshot and they would run away screaming. So.
Oh my gosh. Did you have a lot of lines in that or was that just your thing?
Yeah, well, yeah. We did a couple of scenes. They always need somebody to cause trouble. Mm-hmm. And so I was one of the trouble causers for about 3 seasons.
That would be really fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. I loved working with those guys.
Oh my God.
They were really free too. You know, we were talking about improv a little bit earlier. They were big on that as well. Like, let's just mess around, have some fun, and shoot some stuff and see what happens.
Shoot the shit.
Yeah, shoot some shit and see if we get something funny. So.
That is wild.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of the show too. So then to get on the show was like
that's crazy.
Ride. Yeah.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But also, like, circling back to how we know each other, I used to do this on the podcast, but now I have a lot of repeat guests, so I just stopped doing it, which is a friendship origin. Mm-hmm. So,
nice.
Friendship origin story, which is, like, how we met or how we, like, connected. And so you used to do karaoke at Fickle Frog, where I would go to every Tuesday.
Yeah, 8 years, I think we did it there, karaoke in that little back room.
In the little back room?
Yeah, listening to some quite awful singers, but it was always a heck of a party in that little
and
bar.
You made a lot of connections there. People, like, start to know you because they were, like, regulars.
Yes.
And then you would, like, do their weddings.
It's true. It was always a good place to hand out wedding cards. People would hook up at the karaoke night, and then they'd be there for 3 years singing songs, and then they'd get married after.
Get married? Like Melanie and Ben. Same kind of idea. That's crazy. That must be wild, too, like, seeing the beginning stages of, like, the flirtation or, like, you see them together, and then they're getting married. That's wild.
Oh, yeah. And the best, too, is, like, when karaoke ended, they all started having babies together because I guess they stopped going to karaoke night, so they just stayed home, and then now they all got babies.
And now there's no more unless they do karaoke in their living room.
That's right. Which I do as well.
I bet you. And so can we plug your DJ service? Can we plug that out here?
True North DJ Services.
True North DJ Services. We know that right now, we were just talking about before the mics rolled, that it's a crazy time. There's not a lot of people doing events. Yeah. But if you are, hit this guy up.
Yeah, we'll spin for you. True North, we're #1 on Google. If you go DJs Halifax, you'll see us right at the top. DJs Halifax.
And you guys have do you have a whole team?
Yeah, there's a bunch of us. RS Smooth used to spin for us. DJ Skills, DJ P-Dub. I go by DJ Rocksteady. I didn't make it up. Someone gave it to me.
That's a great name. Also a great No Doubt album.
Yeah, it is a good one. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's been good. It's been a rough year. Everything got canceled, but that's all right. We'll plug on. We will dance on the floors again another day.
Yeah, you will stay afloat, but you're making it work. You're adapting and staying afloat in these insane times that are very testing.
Yeah, lots of parties in the middle of fields.
Oh,
like
yeah, the outdoor ones.
Outdoor parties. So.
Oh man, that takes me back to like high school when like we would just party in a field.
No diggity.
No diggity. But that's where we met. But so the reason you're here today, this is very exciting. So you just did quite a big role in the movie Spinster with Chelsea Perretti.
Yeah, what a thrill.
And it's so crazy how that happened because I literally watched it the night that you emailed me.
Oh, really?
Like the night you emailed me, I had just watched it.
No way.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
A little serendipitous because I saw it popping up. I was like, oh, it's out now. And I was like, oh, yeah, that was shot here in Halifax. Yeah. Fuck yeah, I'm going to watch that. And I got to say, okay, people listening, like if you have daughters, if you've like young daughters, young nieces, like any young women that you know, get them to watch this.
Oh, good. Yeah.
This film because it is so refreshing. It is so honest and real.
It's got a lot of heart to it for a little
lot of
Canadian movie.
heart.
Yeah, and it's a powerhouse team of women who created this movie. Andrea Dorfman was the director, and she co-wrote it as well. It was shot by a woman, Stephanie Baron. She was the DOP for it. So it's just a powerhouse team of women writing, directing, and getting this movie up. So it's a real pleasure to be a part of it.
And how did this come about? So, we'll go back to the beginning. How did you get into acting?
Oh, yeah. Well, I got in it in high school to meet girls.
Drama, like the drama
class.
Drama club or drama class?
Club, and then, I
my
went
God,
there
that's
to meet
funny.
girls, and it worked really well because I wasn't much of a sports guy, so I had to do something. So I got into to theater, so we did plays, and then I went to school after that, theater school for that. Did 3 years of that, laying on the floor, breathing, doing yoga, working scenes and stuff like that, and then I toured children's theater for like 10 years.
Oh,
all
wow.
over the States. I did that in state fairs. Our show was set up next to the pig races over by the Ferris wheel, and we do a kid show about science. And
Oh my God.
it was a lot of fun.
10 years doing that. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
on
a
and
long
off. But
okay.
yeah, we toured those things all over the States, so that kind of got my performance on stage chops up. So, yeah, so I'm not scared to go on stage that much anymore after doing children's theater for 10
After
years.
you do it for and especially children, like
Yeah, and you have to entertain the adults too.
yeah, the adults watching the
They
children
bring
have
the
to be.
kids. So we worked with a lot of comedians actually back then. Renee Percy, she's in LA now doing stand-up comedy. Reed Janice he's a Second City guy in Toronto. He's in all those McDonald's commercials and everything.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the people who did those kids shows are in the improv and comedy world now. So
Fascinating.
and then I started doing film acting here in Halifax.
Here in hell, and then the DJ stuff was
Just a way to make a living.
yeah
To fill in the gaps.
more steady.
Yeah.
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 Especially if you're gonna land a karaoke night at a bar on a weekly basis.
It's nice cash too.
Yeah.
Cash
Yeah.
money. We
Cash-
like that as gig workers.
But you always seem to always like, because I've seen you like obviously at Fickle Frog and also at weddings. You always seem like you're having a fucking blast.
Well, I'm an actor.
So that was really good acting.
Yeah, sometimes.
Like, I really want to be here. I wouldn't rather be home at all.
No, it's great to play music for parties, so you can't go wrong. It's the only other job I could do other than acting that didn't make me want to stab my eyeballs out, so I got lucky and hooked up with a guy who had a company, and then I worked with him ever since I moved here, so I got really lucky that way. And then hustled to bars to do karaoke and stuff, just to fill in the blanks between acting jobs.
Between the acting jobs, which
Yeah.
is very smart.
And that's, you have to do something.
You gotta do something. The starving artist thing.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really do that these days.
It gets old once you get over 35 being a starving artist. It's like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't want to starve anymore. But I
Yeah.
still want to do what I love to do. So, you got to make some sacrifices and make it work, or else you're going to just be unhappy, right?
That is and that is something I have been truly thinking about so much during this time of being unemployed and like just trying to figure out like, what the fuck do I do with, like, I'm 33 and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do with my life.
Yeah.
Like it feels like I'm 18 again and starting over. And I always admire people when they make the decision to go for what they love rather than the cookie cutter the easy 9 to 5 office job that is very stable and like will give you benefits and like will give you all that and be more financially stable for you. But then the people who make the decision to dive into things that they love and hustle their butts off to like make that a living is something I respect so much.
Well, I appreciate it. It's really tempting too to say, fuck it, I want to do my own, let me just get a real job and forget this.
Real job.
A
Yeah.
real job.
Yeah.
Like it's not a real job what I do, but
Yeah, exactly.
It's ingrained in you that you have to, you're not, if you're self-employed, you will get a real job. Give up on your dreams and maybe do something else. But a lot of it is really luck and just saying yes to things. I find like I'm not the healthy or not. I'm a little lazy, I'm going to say. So,
I'm
I don't.
ding, dance gets a ding. I'm also very lazy.
I do not hustle as much as I should, but I say yes to things a lot. And sometimes those turn into really good things and, take you down roads that you never thought. So it's like risky, but yes, I will take that.
So not
option.
being too in your in your own cookie cutter bubble of like what you should do, like almost like embracing things that you didn't think you would do.
Yeah, being open to
Being
what
open to
might
it.
come your way and, things might turn you in a completely different direction career-wise or life-wise, and just roll with it, not be afraid to take risks. And it's tough to do, though.
Did you, when you were thinking about your life, was it a hard decision to make to be like, I'm going for acting, which is a tough industry to break into?
It wasn't because it was the only thing I really knew how to do to make money.
Right.
Because I did it right out of college. So I was touring and I was doing shows and I was making money doing that. So when I wasn't making money, I was like, geez, what else can I do? So I kept taking gigs as they came because I was like, this is the only thing I know how to do. I don't know how to do anything else except learn other people's lines, work scripts, be funny on stage, host things.
Right.
I'm the only tool I have. I don't have my, I didn't really.
And you're
do a
your
lot
own
of
boss.
school.
Yeah.
I didn't finish school. I'm lazy, but
Listen to all of this advice. This is how you gotta do
I
it.
take risks, and I'm not afraid to be.
That
to do
is-
things like that.
That's so. Were you always a performer too? Like when you were younger, like were you always the performer type, like the class clown?
Yeah, I did. I got in trouble a lot at school for sure. And
Yeah.
I remember my brothers and sisters doing things like this, podcasts, with
Oh,
tape
really?
recorders.
Oh, yes.
And we would do lip sync bands, and I came a family of four kids in the family, so we were always competing for attention. And I was encouraged as the class clown and stuff like that. But I'm an introvert too, so it's weird,
That is, I always find that interesting when introverts do stuff like that, like more performative. But it's also like, I totally get needing the separation in a way, to be so on performatively that you need that like time to recharge, off stage or like off the mic kind of thing.
Yeah, it's true. And a lot of the stuff that you're working on in a film would be quiet stuff, personal stuff, intimate things. And it's hard to, when you're on film, if you're an extrovert, sometimes the camera is just like, whoa, too much.
There's a lot going on here.
You are way too much. But the camera loves like intimacy and small moments and privateness. So I've started to lean towards that a little bit more when it comes to acting. I tend to think the more privacy is better for those quiet moments and honesty.
Oh, yeah. And with Spinster, so how did the Spinster role come about for you?
Well, Erin Hennessy is the casting agent here in town, and she does all the casting for movies.
That name is very familiar. I'm pretty sure I've heard it.
Yeah, she does like background for TV shows, and she does casting for movies that are locally in town. So I have a pretty good relationship with her, and I think I tried out for about 4 or 5 roles in that movie.
Really?
All the guy roles I tried out for.
Really?
Yeah, and it was great because we had just gone to New York to go watch a stand-up comedian friend of ours tape his special, George Gordon, on Spotify.
Oh, little plug.
Your Good Friend is what it's called.
George Gordon.
Yeah,
George Gordon?
George Gordon. And he is a friend of my wife and I, so we went to New York to go watch him do his special. And then we got on a plane that night, came home on the red eye, and I had the audition the next morning. So I was a little hungover. I didn't give a shit. I thought, what the hell? I've already tried out for 3 roles. And I read for Alex, which is the part I play in the movie. And it just went well, I guess. It's amazing when you audition hungover.
I was going to ask about,
You give a lot less cares.
Well, yeah, it's almost like the idea of like over prepping. Like I highly believe that you can over prep for something and it will go badly for you. Yeah. Like I was the type that used to over prepare for job interviews. Like I would spend like nights and nights and nights like researching everything about the company and it's like they're never gonna ask you like these questions that you're preparing for, and then you get in your head and you get too tight about it, and then it doesn't go well.
And
so
it goes the same for stand-up comedy too.
Same for
If
that.
you're not loose, if you care too much about what people think about you, then look out, you're screwed.
Oh yeah, you would never be able to do stand up if you cared that much.
Audition for a film because you're just thinking, God, am I the person they want? Am I good looking enough? Am I funny enough? Do I have enough credits?
Right.
But if you don't give a shit and you just go and you do your work and do a good job and
and just try your best.
Yeah, try your best and walk out feeling good about yourself and going, okay, I did everything I could do. And then I rip up the script and say, forget about it, and hopefully you get a phone call. So I did get a phone call, which is great. And then I found out Chelsea Perretti was in the movie. I didn't know that at the time. And it was serendipitous again because I was such a huge fan of hers.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I never watched it.
Have you watched it since?
No.
Dave, you gotta. That's how I know her. I don't actually know her from too much else, but like I've recently started watching her stand up and stuff.
Yeah, one of the greats is what I knew her from, and that was a staple in our household. We just, when you just throw on a stand up special that you've heard a million times just for comfort or to go to bed at night or something like that.
Yep.
She was in our rotation. We just throw on that album and listen to her. And then a year and a half later, I find out, I'm going to be in a movie with her. So it was perfect. I felt like I knew her really well.
Did you freak out?
I did. And then I was really excited. And then I said I should watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And then I thought, no. I don't need to be any more nervous about this.
That's true.
I don't need to see how awesome she is. I already know she's great. But, oh, man, Twitter told me she's very popular from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But then when I met her for the first time, it was like brother and sister kind of.
No
we hit it off
way.
really well. Yeah.
Like literally, and we're burying the lead, but you play her brother
Yes, yeah.
in the movie. So can we talk about your character in this movie? Also serendipitous. It's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, he is. He's a business guy who wants to really be a stand-up comedian inside because he is tired of the bank life and investments and all that bullshit. So he wants to get his other side out through stand-up comedy. So he goes to open mic nights.
Yeah, that scene, that open mic scene.
Oh, it's rough.
Was so triggering for me specifically
Oh,
because,
yeah?
because I'm just now getting into comedy and I'm like, this is gonna happen to me at some point.
Oh, it was a bomb, wasn't it?
I was watching that scene going, you did it was such a good job of like how heavy the room feels when no one laughs or like when only one person's like, woo in the back, like one person is like probably really drunk and is like cheering you on, but like it's just dead everywhere else. Oh my god, it was triggering.
Well, they even wrote that guy in. I'm thankful they did, or else it would have been dead quiet in there. And I couldn't. I have all the respect to stand-up comedians who have to stand on stage with 6 people in the room, 3 of them are their family members, and you got to deliver your jokes about balls and hairy nutsacks.
Which was great because the joke you did was so like stereotypical of like a new male comic who's like, I'm funny, I could do this.
Yeah, cocky little. Yeah, it was disastrous, and it was supposed to be disastrous. And I think I've never been reviewed so harshly. They said that my stand-up was the worst thing in the movie, which I take as a badge of honor because it was supposed to be.
It was supposed to, I was just gonna say, I'm like, you did a really good job of being a bad comedian.
Yeah, it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard.
That was so funny.
Yeah, it was a really great moment to do that, and I got to fantasize being a stand-up comedian for like a couple hours in front of one of my stand-up heroes.
That is wild.
Which was really meta. It was a.
That is really meta because you used to watch her stand up, and now she's watching you do stand up.
Yeah.
And I also love that, like, at one point in the movie, she kind of disses stand up comedy.
Oh yeah.
She's like, stand up comedy.
You're doing stand up? Oh
Yeah.
God, don't ever do that again.
Yeah. It was really fun.
We had a really nice connection though. It was really nice to work with
I'm
her.
glad that she was nice.
Yeah, she was
I'm
cool.
really glad to hear that.
She had just had a baby. So she was very busy with the baby as well. So there wasn't a lot of socializing.
Right.
Which I appreciate. I like to just get down and work. And so did she. She wanted to get down and work, and let's look at the script, and let's have some fun, and let's have a nice connection, and
Have all the fun while working, but then go home to your lives.
yeah,
kind of
go
thing.
home and then milk for the baby. That was a big thing. She
Oh,
had to
that's
do a lot
wild.
of- yeah.
So she had just had the baby. Was the baby on set?
It was. Yeah, she had a little boy, beautiful little boy, and he came on set every now and then. But she had a whole trailer just for the baby and the nanny and everything. It was it was a big deal for her. So
That is wild.
all the props to her for carrying a whole movie while just having a baby. While taking care of the baby. Like, women are amazing.
Madness.
Unbelievable.
I just watched a documentary about, well, it was like a little documentary 3-part series about Amy Schumer, who literally taped a stand-up special while very pregnant, but also added layer to it. She had insane, I'm forgetting the name of the condition, but it's insane nausea and vomiting. Ooh. Like to an extreme point. Right. Like to a point where like sometimes you're throwing up for like 3 hours straight and not stopping. And the whole series was like her prepping for this special while pregnant as fuck and nailing it. Nailing it.
How do you do it?
Just madness.
I'm like, I'm a little bloated today. I don't know if I can do this scene. I'm bloated. They're like, here, hold this baby. Let me do the scene.
Yeah.
No problem.
It's insane. I don't know. I think we're just the better sex, but that's just me.
Definitely the stronger one for sure. Yeah. No, it was really impressive, the work that she did. And that she was open. And she was open to changing the lines around.
Right.
She was open to improvising with me. And I was improvising with her. And I was like, I can't believe I'm throwing lines at Chelsea Perretti here. And she's throwing them back at me. This is amazing. And a couple of them made the movie, too. Which is
so we talked a bit about that before we hit record, too. About, like, how much of it is, like, very scripted and, like, line for line. And you mentioned that, like, you got to get those lines in. But that she allowed you to improvise like afterwards, and then a lot of that stuff is what made the movie because it just came off natural.
Yeah, these little moments that aren't planned. The camera just loves accidents and moments that aren't planned, and if you're too scripted, and if you know your stuff too well, if you're over-prepared, as you mentioned, and yeah, it's just going to come off stale, you know. I watch myself too and go, oh, that was stale. Oh, that was stale. Oh, that was all right. Oh, that was stale. So it's really hard to watch back and be critical. But
Right.
I know on the day it felt real, like two real people talking, which is kind of always the goal, I guess. Is just
It did feel
honesty.
very real. Yeah. But also the fact that like that movie was mostly in Halifax.
Yeah, all shot in Halifax.
All shot in Halifax.
Every last bit of it.
One thing that I loved doing while watching it was being like, where was that? Where is that? I noticed the seahorse.
Yeah, we did 2 of our scenes and the stand-up at the Seahorse.
And I noticed that the restaurant, and fuck, I'm getting ahead of myself again. We should talk about what that movie's about.
Yes.
Like we gotta sell it to these people to watch this movie because it's so freaking great.
Well, first of all, it's Canadian, right? So
Yes.
we got to support our Canadian filmmakers, our Canadian writers. We have to support our strong Canadian women who are directing and writing great scripts.
Ding ding.
You know, and if something comes out of Halifax, geez, you should definitely watch it. You know, and Canadian movies, you know, they're quirky. They're not, you know, someone was saying if they shot this in the States, they would probably hire for all the other roles these like B-list comedian actors to try to amp up the film. But I kind of like that it's Halifax actors being real people and allowing her to react with real people.
Yeah.
So it's Canadian movies always are a little tweaky, a little different,
Love it.
a little quirky.
Nitty gritty.
Yeah.
They're a little nitty gritty.
Low budget, so nitty gritty. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah. And it was shot all over Halifax. So this is a movie about I forgot her name already. Her character's name was Gabby.
It's her 39th birthday.
39.
And she just breaks up with her boyfriend while he breaks up with her for another woman, and she's in the shits.
Shits.
Yeah, and Susan Kent from This Hour Has 22 Minutes plays Gabby's best friend.
Yes,
She's the co-star.
she was great.
Fantastic. Yeah, she's got a couple of kids in the movie, which goes against Gabby, who has no kids and isn't married, but pushing that spinster age.
Yes.
And so it really talks about not having kids as you get older, not needing a marriage or a family to kind of define yourself. And
literal chills as you're talking about that because
it's
that's so powerful, especially. And one thing I will commend the movie for is making the main character, you know, late 30s rather than. Because so many of these self-discovery, like rom-com style movies are like the women characters are like 25.
Yeah.
Or like
and dating 45-year-old men.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
They're like, oh, we gotta find ourselves in our 20s, but it's like the reality is you're finding yourself all the time.
Yeah.
And
Never
you never know when life's gonna smack dab something at you
that's a
that
really
like
good
throws
point.
you off. So like I loved the fact that she was like approaching 40 and
Very imperfect.
and still self-discovering everything.
Yeah.
And like
And a bit of an asshole.
A little bit of an asshole,
she's
yeah.
a bit of an asshole.
Yep.
But you know, that's part of it. And part of her journey too is meeting up with her niece, who's my daughter, played by Nadia.
She was so
Crosby.
cute.
Yeah, she's really
You
good.
guys were so cute together too.
Yeah, she's
oh my
sweet.
God.
I know her from a couple other things too. She does a lot of work in town. She's a great. She's actually the daughter of the main agency. Maybe I shouldn't say that because it might seem like there's favoritism that she was in the part.
It helps though. It always with every job it helps.
Yeah, it's all about who you know, and my mom's the casting director.
Yeah,
so
there
I'm
you
in the
go.
Movie, you know? But she was great to work with for as a kid, and brought a lot to the movie, and it also brought out Chelsea's kind of sensitive side, her aunt side, and she has lots of great advice about being herself and not pleasing her mom and dad or her uncle.
Yes.
Just being herself, you know. And
one of my favorite scenes was when they were picking out yarn for the sweater. And like the little girl was like having issues picking out a color.
I like the brown one. Well, I like the brown one too. No, you don't.
And then she picked out this colorful one and like finally like kind of took agency over like, yeah, this is what I like. Like it was just really a really cute and a good message to young girls too. Like just to be yourself and not like do things because you want other people to do. Because there was another scene too with the rock climbing.
You're right.
Where she like went up on the rock climbing thing when she was terrified.
Kids should like rock climbing.
Yeah.
Let's take them rock climbing. Wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm terrified.
I hate this shit. But I should like it because everyone likes it. Well, no, what do you want to do? And so they settle on knitting, which is theme in the show, knitting.
Yeah.
Hence
really
Spinster.
cute. I never made that connection. That's that's cool. I like that.
So yeah, they settle on knitting, and actually Chelsea Perretti wasn't a great knitter. She had to practice a lot and learn how to knit for it. So she was always knitting, actually, at lunch and in her trailer, constantly knitting, because knitting had a lot to do with the show as well. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, just such a great message. Like, yeah, because you have the sort of theme of the children theme, or like deciding not to have kids. But you also have the fact that like it seemed like Gabby's character was kind of anti-kid.
Yeah.
But then the bond with her niece definitely opened her up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 40 and have no kids in sight. Not planning on kids, and it's kind of a decision we've made. Not to get too personal with you, but it's a tough. The decision to not have kids is as important a decision to have kids.
Right. That's right.
And it should be respected the same way. And a lot of times pressures of society say, oh, you're selfish for not having kids, or you're this. I mean, I feel that too. You're getting older, but we still have a lot to offer kids.
That's
by
right.
not being parents.
Companionship. Yeah.
Leadership. I have a lot of nieces and nephews. I figure I have lots to offer to them, and in the movie it's like that too. Gabby has a lot to offer apart from being a parent, but there's still tons to give.
Because there wasn't was there any mention in the movie about like what happened to the mom?
Divorce.
It was just divorce. Like she wasn't dead or anything.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Confusing a little bit that scene at the graveyard, but no, that was the.
That was her Gabby's mom.
Yeah, the grandmother.
Your guys' mom.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. Yeah.
That's right.
No, it was a divorce, and it was a shitty divorce, and the wife is sadistic and this and that kind of,
that kind of
unhappy 40-year-old divorced male who's trying to re-find himself by
through
doing
comedy.
We need more of those, right? More 40-year-old white men doing comedy.
I
right?
want to see a role in a movie about a female comic.
Yeah.
Trying stand up and doing shitty at it. Because
you ever thought of writing a script?
I mean, now that you're saying it, I wouldn't know where to start. I had an idea for a script for a movie.
Paper. That's all.
I had this idea for a movie called, this is wild that I'm bringing this up on the fucking podcast, but
hey, ideas are good. You got to bring them into fruition by talking about them.
I made a fake poster, and the idea was that it would be a movie, and I'm kind of biting the style of Adventureland, but it would be called Comedyland, and this is actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm making the connection to COVID and the fact that like all these clubs are closing. Yeah. But yeah, the idea was that the comedy club closes down and all the comics are out of work, so they have to go work in an amusement park.
This is great.
And so the comics have all these different roles at the amusement park. Like someone's like the stoner who works the tilt-a-whirl. Yeah. Someone's the like kind of the skeezy manager who's like kind of the villain, like the heel, so to speak. Right. And I made these roles and I put my comic friends in these roles and I was like, this is Comedyland. And I made so many jokes about like, we need to make this happen. Let's do it. But like, I don't know where to start with that, but it's a funny idea.
Notepad and paper.
Right?
Just jot down some ideas. That's where it all starts, right? And it's never too late to get a script read by somebody and get money for that script and get funding for it.
Funding, yeah.
Nova Scotia has so many grants and things like that are saying, hey, please, we want scripts. We want scripts from women.
Right.
We want stories from that. And
that's fascinating.
The first-time scriptwriters are happening all the time.
Wow.
Especially in Halifax. So you never know.
And people with I don't have any. I suck at writing. Like, I'm the worst at writing. I typo all over the place. The typos.
Nobody spell check.
It's bad. But that is fascinating. Script writing. That was a fun one that I had come up with. Comedyland. And it's like, and
Nobody
I picture
steal that. Don't steal that.
I picture it like a broken down, really like rickety amusement park. Kind of like, do you remember, are you from Nova Scotia originally?
Originally from Toronto.
From Toronto. When did you move here?
10 years ago? 12 years ago.
Okay, so you might not remember, but there was this place called Magic Valley.
No, I don't know Magic Valley.
Oh, God!
I did.
If you look up, on YouTube, it's Magic Valley 90s commercial. You can find, a TV commercial from the 90s of this place, which was just, again, it's just very Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Small and,
like a little amusement park.
Amusement park! Yeah. These, really crappy water slides and, Ferris wheels with, duct tape. Holding it together.
Oh, what a perfect place to shoot a movie.
Right?
Right?
But now it's Now it's abandoned. Like it doesn't exist anymore. But like you can go, if you can get through the private property, you can go and like see this like abandoned amusement park, which is wild.
On TV, a show about that actually.
Did you?
This abandoned amusement park. Yeah.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Oh, it would be a great idea if it was still there. You could totally shoot a movie.
Right?
There. Save some bucks too on locations.
Just the idea of like, the comedians are working at the park. And then, like, at night, they, like, put on a comedy show or something.
And wouldn't it be a dream just to hire all your friends and make a movie with your
right?
friends?
Oh, my God.
Like, what a dream to do that. And it's totally possible to do those things. Like, most filmmakers will already know who they want to hire and hope to hire them, you know? And it doesn't have to be with the union. You can be on your own. You can do your own thing. Just grab some cameras and shoot.
Yeah, there's, like, a lot of fun things. Like, I also have a friend who did, like, a 48-hour film festival, Albert Coombs. Oh. Shout out Albert. Yeah, and, like, little things like that where it's like a challenge. Like, you got to make a movie in 48 hours. And, like, they came up with something really fun. And I was just like, that's so fun. I would love to do something like that.
I wish I was that clever to come up with these scripts that people come up with. People have such talent when it comes to seeing something all the way through. Mm-hmm. I have great ideas to start things off, and then I crap out near the end usually. So I've got probably 20 unfinished things. I wish I could finish them.
So is writing something you might want to do more of, like going forward maybe?
I have so many ideas for scripts and movies. I got a buddy in LA that I would love to make a movie with again. We made a movie together a long time ago, and I would love to do it again with him specifically, an old buddy of mine. But hey, you're never too young, you're never too old.
That's right.
You can always make a movie. I know guys who are 50 years old who write scripts and get movies made, you know, and just because they wanted to try it and get it done, didn't cost them anything. They get funding one way or another.
Get the funding. I think that's the key thing. Yeah. Look, like, don't try to finance it yourself. Like, that will just be
30,000 gets a little heavy sometimes.
Jesus Christ.
But that's why iPhones are great too. You can shoot movies on iPhones.
Isn't that wild?
Film 5 is a great program. It's an AFCOOP, Atlantic Film Co-op.
I've heard of this, I think.
You can sign up with them, admit scripts to them, and they will teach you how to make a short film. And by the end of the process, you'll have a short movie that you would have made. I've done 2 or 3 projects with them as an actor, and they're always fantastic. I love working with young filmmakers and new filmmakers that come to town or in town and have ideas, and they want to hire a guy who's maybe done a few movies, and I'm like, well, please let me do it.
So if you're listening and doing any of that, keep Dave in mind.
I love working independent films. I love working with a tight crews, small crews, locally. It's just a dream to do that.
Yeah, because it's so nice here. It would suck to have to leave.
Well,
you know?
And that might come, you know. I'd love to go to Toronto and do some work there as well, but I'll never leave Nova Scotia. My house is here. I love it here.
You're out in the country.
I'm out in the country. Yeah, my agent's in Toronto, so that's handy to have that. But
right.
And everything's self-taped now. All auditions and everything are self-taped, so you don't have to go anywhere.
Oh, for real?
Just do it all at home, send them in.
You send it in. Yeah. And so do you have someone, okay, I need to know about the inside baseball of this.
Yeah.
When you're auditioning, do you have someone behind the camera reading the other line?
Yeah, usually my wife.
Oh, wow. Because I've ran lines with someone before, and I got into it.
Yeah?
It's fun.
It is. They're great scripts, and you get a little like sneak peek of what's shooting and how the scripts are going to be.
So cool.
My wife loves doing it. She always says that be careful because some casting agent's going to hear my voice and want to hire me. And also I'll use local actors in town too and say, hey, you want to help me out? Come on by. I'll pick you up. You want to shoot some stuff with me? And it's a small community, and we're all there for each other, even though we're usually competing for the same roles. We all support each other.
So interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of like comedy too.
I guess so. Everyone wants to be the
like a friendly
one.
competition kind of thing. Yeah.
Bit.
I could see that.
You want to give each other advice, but maybe not too much.
Not too much. That's something. Yeah, certainly that has been interesting for me, getting advice from comics right now.
I saw that special. That was some bleak advice some of those comedians were giving you.
Right. Right.
It doesn't matter. If you do good, it doesn't matter. If you suck, it doesn't matter.
There was so much of it doesn't matter, but like
they're 100% right.
They're 100% right.
It's not helpful before you go on stage. What you're about to do and are prepared for 5 years of your life doesn't matter.
You know what though? Oddly enough, and I was like with you on that for a bit. It has helped.
Yeah.
With nerves, because when I'm nervous, I'm just like, I'm going to do so bad. Like, it's going to be such a train wreck. But then I go, they're going to forget about it like in an hour. You know, like they won't remember that you stumbled on that word or like you you took too long to get to that punchline kind of thing.
No,
And
they'll
so like,
remember one or two things that you shone from that were truly unique to you. Like,
That's right.
You know, something that was really awesome, that was only something that could come out of your face.
Yep.
Oh, that's what
they're probably going to take away, not the bad things. But we're our own worst critics when it comes to anything creative where you're forced to like watch yourself and critique yourself because you don't have a boss. You don't have a boss telling you like this is what you're doing wrong kind of thing. You got to figure it out on your own. So I imagine you deal with that with like watching tapes back.
Oh, I hate it.
Shit.
Especially
Do you hate it?
doing the self tapes, because when you tape your audition at home, you have the opportunity to look it over before you send it and go, oh, that sucks. Let me try this again. So you end up doing 32 takes of something. And
Oh
it's
my
like,
goodness.
Probably the third take was the best one. But if you go into an audition room at a casting agent's office, you get 2 chances. That's
Wow.
it. So you
Is
better
it only
rock
2?
Yeah, if you're lucky. A lot of times
wow.
they'll come in and they'll say, okay, is he good for it? All right. So you do it once and they'll say, okay, nah.
And were you the type to get really nervous before auditions? Or?
Yeah. Nerves are, you know, that's the edge of the knife that you want to ride, you know, because it can take you either way. Nerves, even going on stage to do stand-up, nerves are part of it. You can either accept that and use it as something powerful to help you get through it, or you can use it as something that's going to like put you in the ditch and freeze you up. So it's just kind of saying, yes, I am nervous and I'm more excited. I'm excited to do this. I got butterflies in my stomach. My blood pressure's pumping. I'm excited. I'm not scared. I'm excited.
I love when the nerves shift to excitement.
Yeah. It's a gentle balance on a knife, but it never goes away.
And that's what I hear. And I also hear and I wonder if you would agree with us, the saying of like, if you're not nervous, you're doing something wrong.
It could be. Or you're super prepared, or you've come to grips with it, or you're in your zone. And
The zone.
It's great to be in that zone where you're confident and you know what you're doing, and it's game time. And then you're not even thinking too much. You're just doing what you've prepared.
You're just doing that.
You're doing your thing that you're confident in. And there's nothing better than watching somebody do that, I think. And
that's wild.
Film's the same way. It's like you prepare and you prepare, and you hope you don't fuck it up on the day. But when it comes time and action is called, you're not thinking about anything except what's going on that moment, second by second. What is that person saying? I'm listening to every word, and how would I react normally? So hopefully you're not thinking about anything. You're just
in the moment.
You're just riding. You're just going. It's a euphoric kind of feeling, and I'm sure a lot of stand-up comedians feel that, where they're just surfing that crowd, just having a great time, not thinking, just doing. And that's the headspace I think you want to get into when you're doing any kind of performing, is just do it. Just do it now.
Wow.
That always has helped me too.
Yeah. Are you someone who, have you found like memorizing lines came easy to you, or?
Yeah, because I've been doing it for so long, I have a lot of tricks and techniques to doing it.
Ooh.
There's no shortcut to it. It's just repetition. It's just talking to yourself over and over.
That's what it is.
Again. There's no
That's
trick.
what it is. You're totally freaking right.
Repetition is your friend. If you can say it backwards, if you can say the words forwards and backwards, that would be great. So you know it so well that you can say fuck it and ride if you need to, or go back to your script.
Because that's something very fascinating that I found with stand-up, was writing the notes that I took up on stage with me to like guide my set, making the right notes so that when I look down, I go, okay, that's the next part of that joke, and I know exactly what I'm saying.
You're ready.
But it's just the triggering your memory, because I noticed on my first set, I forgot a lot of components of jokes because I was so nervous. It was my first time. I was just like, I just need to get this fucking over with.
People are staring at you, the buzz in the room, the this and that. Yeah, it can throw you.
So nerve-wracking. It's like your first time up there. And like, my first set wasn't planned. It was totally impromptu. So I didn't actually have the notes that like I had written out at home.
Holy fuck.
So I just scrambled down words on a piece of scrap paper and went up there. But then the second time I did it, where I had like the title of the joke and like bullet points underneath, like but like keywords, like to kind of trigger the memory,
keep you on track, because
that was what I found helped me. But interestingly enough, the day of like my second show, I was like sick to my stomach nervous, and as soon as I started practicing and repeating the jokes out loud, I felt better.
Oh yes, repetition is your friend.
Oh my god,
so much comfort in that, even if it's boring. Driving, I drive a lot, and I talk to myself constantly while I'm driving, saying lines, saying the words over and over again. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm saying because I'm so connected to the script. I'm just saying the lines over and over again. There's no shortcut around it.
No,
you
sure.
gotta do the work.
And it's also just like to how you say the words. Like you probably say the same line a different way.
Yeah, you
a
don't want to
bunch.
get locked into any one way to say it, because on the day it's going to change.
It's gonna change.
The way you think you're going to say it on the day when they call action, hopefully it doesn't come out the way you practice. Hopefully it comes out fresh, unique, and in the moment, and in correspondence to what that person said to you.
Right. And how they say it.
And how they say it, and what their mood is, and how it feels in the room. So that's why it's so good to be super prepared. In acting school, they always tell you, learn everything, be super memorized, and then on the day, throw the script away and forget everything you learned.
Interesting. That is so fascinating.
Go with it. Just go with the moment. And improv's the same way. Like we studied a lot of improv too in college. I got to work with some SCTV guys, and Alan Gutman was my improv teacher, and he took it so seriously. Improv. It was like a Bible to him.
Really?
And it wasn't about being funny. It was about accepting offers, never saying no, always saying yes and. Yes and. How can I make my scene partner look awesome? And so it was always about that. And that was one of the things I took, I think, from acting school, was improv class. It was the best thing I could have taken.
Damn. Well, especially for, if you want to do acting, comedy, like that's a good skill to have.
Yeah, just agreement.
The improv.
Just working with somebody and saying, yes, your idea is awesome, and I want to add this to it. And then they want to add to your idea. Next thing you know, well, we never focused on even being funny in improv. We just focused on having a real connection and carrying ideas. And then we started having fun and getting funny. And
The
stuff
bouncing
like that.
off of each other.
Yeah, I could
aspect.
never do the comedians who do
Oh,
improv.
God,
Oh,
yeah.
my God, what a skill, and
Holy
how
smokes.
brave are they.
Yeah.
I think it's a great skill for anybody to learn improv.
I'll never forget my first time. Well, not my first time, but one time that I went to New York City. We randomly went to like an improv show, and it was so fun. It was wild.
It's reckless. It's just like on the edge. You don't know if it's going to be shitty or awesome.
Yeah.
And luckily, these performers are so good, and people who study improv are so good. They always bring you to a good place. You know.
Yeah.
I really envy folks who can do that.
Yeah. Shout out to Hello City, I believe, is our local improv team here in Halifax. They're great. I'd like to like get one of those people on.
You should
Eventually and talk to them, because that's wild to me. Like just the idea of like going up there with nothing.
Yeah.
And like you get like a word, or like you get something, and you have to just roll with it. That's
with no preconceived notions, because if you come in there planning it, it's gonna suck. You can't even have a plan. You gotta be like so like in the moment, ready to go. You know.
Wild.
Yeah. So it's a delicate balance, like learning that stand-up set or learning those scripts in the line. Learning your script is just such a monotonous job, but once you get that work out of the way, then the fun starts. Then you can start playing with it. Then you can start being real, and how would I do this if this happened to me, you know? And then you start internalizing it more, and the words don't even matter anymore.
Right. Do you do any vocal exercises?
I used to when I did theater, but I find with film, if you can talk like this, it's usually best if you just
like a whisper.
Yeah, usually talking like this in film is the best way to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'm the type that fucking hates when I'm watching a movie and I go, I can't hear them.
That's the style, you know. They got mics up to your ass, right? So they.
That's true.
If you're too loud, it shows. And
okay.
I'm doing a TV series with Adrian Brody coming up, and we did our read.
Whoa!
Yes, Mr. Adrian Brody, the big Academy Award winner. So we did a Zoom call.
What?
To read the script, and he was on there, and that's, if you want to be an Academy Award winner, you gotta talk like this. That's the most important thing, is talking real low.
Real low.
He's really good at it.
And raspy.
Yeah. So if he's talking to you like that, you can't come in, hey, what's going on? You know. Anyway.
You can't be. That is very interesting.
Yeah. So I don't do much vocal. No. When I did live stage performance, though, I would to a point, but you know. You just get used to it. You're talking all the time. You talk all the time on your podcast.
I do.
Are you here doing warm-ups?
But again, that's why it's so hard for me going into stand-up, where it's like, okay, I have to say these things. I stumble on so many words, and it's just like so frustrating. But then again, I think the repetition thing is really important.
Yeah, we took a lot of classes too on how to loosen up the mouth and the lips and all these little tongue.
Like you have to like over-express sometimes.
Yeah.
Like in a weird way.
Nowadays, my warm-up is a smoke and a Red Bull. That's pretty much.
I love that. I fucking love Red Bull so much.
Especially at a 6 a.m. Call time or 5 a.m. call time.
I'm
smoking a Red Bull. I'm ready to go. Let's do the scene.
Are you in working in film? You must have had some fucking early mornings.
Oh yeah, they go and late nights too. All night shoots. I did a movie with Stephanie Clattenburg, who's a local filmmaker.
Know of her? I'm following her.
Oh, she's fantastic. What a powerhouse filmmaker she is. And we post-production now for Night Blooms, which is her movie that she's is coming out. And I was in that with Nick Stahl, who is famous for being in Terminator 3, the one that wasn't good. But he's still the shit. Nick Stahl's cool. So I got to work with him on that, which was fun. But that was a night shoot. So we started working at 10 at night, and we shot all night in a dusty, dirty little house in Dartmouth. And we did a fight scene.
Oh, crazy.
And we finished at 7 a.m. And it was awesome. The energy you get working nights with somebody, a small crew, you're fired up. It's a weird atmosphere.
It's probably you're running on adrenaline.
Yeah,
truly.
Yeah, and Red Bull and smoke.
Oh man, because otherwise, doing a monotonous job, security guards.
Standing there all day.
How
all
boring
night.
Would that be?
God bless them for doing their job, but I couldn't do it.
For heck's sakes, I would just be nodding off.
I'd just be waiting for a fight.
Yeah, that's right.
Who wants to fight? But mornings are great, actually, because I find actors are the most fresh in the morning. Like Chelsea Perretti, the best scenes that we shot were in the morning.
Really?
Because she was fresh, fired up, the kid was taken care of, she had no worries, and she was ready to start her day. So I think the best scenes, the first scene that we shot together in the bar in the Seahorse was 7 in the morning. And
that was the first scene you shot was the stand-up scene?
And we, not the stand-up scene, but one where in the bar where we were chatting.
Oh, that's right.
And it was 7 a.m. But she was on fire. I was on fire. We had a really nice morning together. So sometimes the freshest stuff comes in the morning where you're the most vulnerable. You don't have your whole day to, the morning to
dwell.
Up all that bullshit. You're just out of bed, coffee, breakfast. Let's work.
Go. It's go time.
So I love working mornings and I love working night shifts. It's those 3 p.m.
Oh, I hate 3 p.m. 3 p.m. is nap time.
Yeah, it's not time to start work.
It's either nap time or coffee time.
Yeah,
it's done.
I love early mornings. Yeah, they're great to work.
Damn.
Yeah, much different than stand-up, I guess. You start at 1 a.m.
I always say, I say that stand-up is not a daytime. The sun needs to go down.
Yeah.
For stand-up.
The night people need to come out.
You need to come out. You mentioned Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
Have you had any other starstruck moments with anyone you've met, where you've been like, holy shit, talking to this person?
Mike Clattenburg, the first time I met him, I was working on Moving Day, which was a film I did with Will Sasso, Charlie Murphy, a few other great actors, and I was really nervous to meet Mike Clattenburg.
Oh, yeah?
Creator and director of the Trailer Park Boys. I hadn't done Trailer Park Boys yet at that time. And so he came right to me and said, Dave, how are you? Nice to meet you. You want to come into my trailer? We're going to talk to Charlie Murphy. Are you excited to meet Charlie Murphy? And I said, I am, Mike. I said, I'm super excited to meet you as well. I'm a huge fan. I've watched every season of Trailer Park Boys. I love your work. And he said, oh, Dave, fuck it, man. I'm from Dartmouth. You can find me in Sobeys.
Oh, my God.
Let's go talk to Charlie Murphy. So we went and had a meeting with Charlie for the scene that we were going to do. And it was one of the great pleasures of my life to meet and work with Charlie Murphy. I think my favorite moment was when it was snowing on set. And Charlie didn't want to work in the snow. So we went and waited in a van. And I was standing outside because I didn't want to bother the big movie star.
Oh, my
God. Don't bother Charlie Murphy. So the production team said, just go sit in the van with Charlie Murphy. Okay. So I sat right next to him, just him and I in a van for 30 minutes. Yeah. Don't say Chappelle Show. Don't say Chappelle Show. Don't say Rick James, bitch. Don't say it. And we had one of the most realest conversations I've ever had.
No way, really?
We talked about his family, where he grew up in Chicago. We talked about his kids. He was trying to talk me back into going into karate, which I used to do when I was a teenager. And he said, it was a really valuable moment. And I'll never forget that he took the time to
Holy
talk
shit,
to me. So
that's wild.
That's the greatest moment.
That's the greatest one. But you've met probably a lot of famous people, eh?
I worked with Jane Seymour, Dr.
Oh my
Quinn Medicine
God,
Woman.
James!
She was in lingerie in front of me, and I
What
was
the fuck?
Yeah, she was playing like this cougar mom in a series called Let's Get Physical that they shot here.
Oh my
so that was
God,
pretty neat.
that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, I feel very privileged to get to work with Hollywood actors that come to our small little city to do these movies, and the production companies trust local actors like me to come in and work with these guys.
And work with them and not like leak their locations or like stuff like that.
Not be an asshole and not, please can I take a picture? Can I get an autograph? Or, you just go in and do your job.
You gotta be chill.
Gentle.
The starstruck thing, it's always interesting how people deal with that, because some people are very much so like, can I get a picture with you?
Yeah.
And that's so like, I would much rather have an experience like you had where it was like you got to talk to them,
just
connect with them. Like, don't just ask for a picture. Like,
and don't
be in the moment and just talk to them.
Yeah, and don't talk about like the thing you may know them from, because they've heard that a million times. So what can I shoot the shit with that'll make it different?
That's
Usually,
right.
Have you ever been to Halifax before is the first question I'll ask a movie star if I'm stuck with them for 10 minutes awkwardly.
That's good, because you can tell them, like, you can recommend places for them to see. You can kind of act like like you're welcoming them to the city.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Have you eaten here? Have you tried this yet? Just simple stuff. No need to get into the history of their work. They just want to do their job too. So yeah, it's good to just keep your distance, show up, hit your mark, say your lines, and get the fuck out of the way.
And it's also like, I imagine too, if you live in the city that you're shooting in, you probably want them to really like your city.
Yeah, I do.
In a way.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I found out about Chelsea being here for the movie, like, there was like so many tweets being like, she's on this street right now. Like people are insane here because it is such a small city. Yeah. So like if you happen to see, like, Robert Pattinson was here doing The Lighthouse, I think, for a bit.
Yeah.
And he was seen at like one of the bars. He was, I think, Stillwell or something.
Oh, cool.
And so like
Stillwell, yeah, because when the Hollywood actors come here, they stay usually at Bishop's Landing,
right,
places like that. So they're down in the ritzy part of town. So it's usually you go to the Bicycle Thief or go here or go there if you want to pop up to Spring Garden and see some real Halifax bars.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's just always so wild when like famous people know where Halifax is.
Most of them.
I get why they do, because of so much film happening here, but it's still just like, oh, they know us.
Yeah.
Like it's that moment of like.
And they always are reminiscent. Oh, this place reminds me of a place that I grew up in, or it reminds me of this, and it's nostalgia. So it's always a good icebreaker with movie stars.
It is like where have you been? Have you been anywhere similar like this?
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
How long are you in town for? You like your accommodations? Not, oh my God, I love that scene you did in that movie 12 years ago. And they're like, yeah.
That's right.
Back of the line, buddy.
Don't fangirl so much.
Don't fanboy or fangirl, exactly.
It's so important.
It's so hard not to do sometimes.
It's so hard not to do because you only have those little moments with them. And so you want to make an impression. But usually what you think is the right impression is not at all.
Cuba Gooding Jr., I hung out with him in a bar.
Shut the fuck up! What?
The Book of Negroes. We were shooting that for CBC, and I had a very small part in that. And we shot that in Cape Breton, and we were all staying at the same hotel. So Cuba Gooding Jr. was in the hotel bar having dinner with. I was there with the stunt team because we were doing stunt stuff for that show.
Holy smokes!
And he was so outgoing. He wanted to talk with us, buy us drinks, wanted to talk about hockey, even though I don't like hockey. I said, hey, if he wants, not like it, but I don't follow it.
But you'll talk about it.
Hey, if Junior wants to talk about the Leafs, I can pull some shit out about the Leafs, sure. So,
that's right.
So you never know what you're going to get. He was not private at all.
Really?
He wanted to talk to all of us, so. And he was a really nice guy. He's exactly what you would think he would be, or what he shows.
I love that. I hate when I find out people are jerks.
Yeah.
Like that you like. Yeah, but then you got to think like they're probably having a bad day, or like it might not be that. Like it might not be the true.
Yeah.
When you hear multiple accounts of like them being shitty, then it's like.
Well, I've never had anybody say, "Don't look at them, don't talk to them."
Oh yeah.
But I haven't heard that yet, so that's good.
You hear of that happening though. Like it's wild. Like why?
Well, maybe if I work with Julia Roberts, maybe that'll happen or something like that.
Which you will. Put it out into the universe. You will work with Julia Roberts. Oh, that's a good question, actually.
That's my goal.
Who would you most want to work with in terms of acting?
Who would I?
Who's your bucket list co-star?
I've had a couple of beers, so I probably would have to say if I could ever work with somebody, it would be Sylvester Stallone. I love him to death.
Yeah.
I just want to get shot by him or stabbed by him. Punched in the face by him. No, honestly, it was the Trailer Park Boys when I first moved to Halifax. I thought, what a dream it would be to work with those guys. And then I had the opportunity. And then I thought, wow, what if I got to do another season? And then I got lucky.
Whoa.
What if I got to get punched by Julian? And then I got punched by Julian, so I was like, okay, I chopped all those off on the
Holy
list.
shit. So now you can just go right up to Sylvester.
Yeah, I'd love to do Sylvester Stallone, but honestly,
Put that out there.
I'm easy. I like to call myself a hired gun. I'm hired to do a job, and I'll I want to go in and do it the best I can, no matter who I'm working with.
That's awesome.
Yeah, be a dream to work with Stallone. I love him.
Oh my gosh.
Who knows?
What about types of movies? Like, is there anything that you think like you'd want to do that you haven't done yet?
I love action movies. I'd love to do more action and stunts and shooting guns and stuff like that. I love that shit.
I'm so fascinated as to how those things are filmed or done.
A lot of time.
A lot of time, yeah.
A lot of practice. Yeah, when I did that fight scene with Nick Stahl in a movie, it felt so natural because I did a lot of stage combat before. So I'd love to do more stunts and things like that. But I would also love to do more period pieces, like 17th century, 18th century stuff. I tend to fit into that world pretty good. And yeah, luckily this next project, Chapel Wait, that's filming next month here in Halifax, that kind of fits in there. So this is kind of a dream job coming up too.
Holy shitballs.
That's the Adrian Brody one. Yeah, shitballs is
So
right.
Adrian Brody's going to be around Halifax.
He's in town right now. He's quarantining.
Shut the fuck up.
He's got a quarantine for 14 days before he starts shooting.
That is so wild.
Yeah, and also in that show will be, if you could cut out the pause here, Emily Hampshire from Schitt's Creek.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she played Stevie on that show, and she's the other lead. She's playing opposite Adrian Brody. Maybe love interest. I'm not sure. I've only read one script, but...
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And this is a show, TV show?
And this will be a TV series based on a Stephen King novel. Yeah.
Lots of Stephen King stuff gets shot here.
Maine. We look like Maine.
We do look like Maine.
And we're cheaper than Maine.
We're cheaper.
We cost less.
Who knows when you can film? U.S. isn't open yet.
Yeah, exactly.
We're here.
And we have a great incentive program for companies from the States to come up here and shoot movies. We've got the talent. We've got the crews. We've got the locations. It's a great place to shoot movies.
Have you ever been like extras, like a random extra on anything exciting?
That's how I started.
Yeah? Doing extra work?
In Toronto, I wanted to learn how to do it. And I think it's great if anybody wants to get into film, start being a background actor. Just do it. It's easy. You don't have to be in the union. They look for everybody anybody can do it. Erin Hennessy Casting.
Okay.
She's got a website. You can just Google Hennessy Casting. You can put a profile on there. And she puts out calls, and they're always looking for normal, regular people.
No way.
And so when I was doing that, I learned how to be on set.
Yeah.
What the etiquette is. In Toronto, they usually want the background people to stay in a room off to the side.
Yeah.
We'll call you. But I used to sneak in to where they were filming so I could watch how the actors behaved and watched how it worked on set. So I kind of educated myself that way by doing background work. And then said, okay, I'm going to set that aside and start auditioning for day player roles, 1 line, 2 line, 3 line. And then it just kind of built from there, where I just started building a reputation as doing parts.
So
but I
cool.
started doing background. It's incredibly boring. It takes all day, but you get fed, bring a book.
And you get to say you were in this movie.
You get to say, yeah, you could pause it and see yourself in the background.
So funny.
But all in all, you get
Can you imagine doing all of that and then not being able to find yourself?
Well,
That would suck.
It happens, though.
That would really suck, but you're there. You're there to contribute to the energy
You were
of
there
the
to
scene.
watch the process happen and kind of get an idea of how it works. So if you want to get started in film, even acting, anybody can do it. You just
That is fascinating.
Get a profile.
I want to do that. I'm going to make a
It's
profile.
a great way to make a couple extra bucks, too.
Do they pay?
They
I didn't think that they
absolutely
paid.
Oh, yeah, they pay.
Shut
100%. If you're in the union, you get paid a little more. If you're not, you get paid a little less. I think it's, I don't know, $15, $16 an hour, something like that.
Whoa.
It's all day.
Well, I mean, even just to do it, to be like, to see, because I think that's what you said, like kind of observing how everything works and how all these components go together, and
How not to be an
that would be
asshole.
invaluable. Yeah.
Don't fuck up. Don't be an asshole. Yeah, right now I think they're
Etiquette.
looking for kids for Chapel Wait to pose as dead children. So if you got some kids
Listeners, if you have kids,
and you want them to be dead on a TV show,
that's wild.
they're looking for dead kids.
Have you ever been killed on screen?
I got fucked up pretty bad on a show called Haven.
I know of Haven. I feel like that's that's.
I was like in the theme of the show was if this lady drew you, and then fucked up the paper, ripped it up, it would screw you up like a voodoo thing. So she drew a picture of me and folded me in half. So there's a scene where I get bent to shit. My arms get bent and legs get bent.
Whoa.
And stuff. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's so you were not really dead, but kind of.
I was pretty fucked up.
Pretty
and then in
dead.
the hospital for the next scene. So I got 2 days out of that. I got to be the killed on the boat and then in the hospital afterwards.
Man, that'd be wild.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I had to have a cast to put on and then all this stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's close to death I've ever been.
Holy shit. So you've truly done a lot.
Enough. I would love to do more, but in the 12 years of acting here in Halifax, it's been very good to me. I've been very lucky.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that like so many people do acting, but then they do other things, and you just like these are people like you wouldn't expect. Like you wouldn't always expect the person doing your karaoke like is now going to be in a show with Adrian. You know what I mean? Like it's just wild to me.
It's a different world, I'll tell you, and it's kind of secretive. I feel like a superhero sometimes. You know, it's like by day I'm doing this, but at night I get to work with these really great people and great film crews and tell these amazing stories. And I often don't talk about it very much. I keep it to myself. So when I had this movie, I was really excited to call you about it because I thought that it would fit in well with your show.
It really, really does. The themes in it are truly amazing. And you said I think in your message that this is like the one that you're most proud of, right?
I am most proud of it. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to call you about it and talk about it a little bit because it's one of the larger roles I've had, and I really like the movie, and I'm really proud that it was shot here in Nova Scotia and that I could be a part of it with so many other great actors from town.
So many great things about it. Just the fact that it's more about her finding herself and also like the entrepreneurial spirit. Like in the movie, she wants to open a restaurant. I won't spoil anything. You gotta watch the movie. But it's just such a good message to send girls. Yeah. Because so many movies are, you just gotta get the guy. You gotta end up with the guy. And this was such a realistic approach of like self-love and self-discovery.
With a few twists along the way too, where you think, oh, is this going to fall into a cliche that we're used to? But then the writing is really good where they'll twist it around and show you something different.
They twist
it. A little more realistic.
Yeah, I think I saw one of the reviews say it's like an anti-rom-com, and I would agree.
Anti-rom-com, I like that.
Even though there was like a really, like nearing the end, there was a really romantic moment.
Could have been.
And like I really appreciated that. Again, with the scenes, like I was just like, where is that filmed? I know that the restaurant was in the North End. I think it was a place called Wild Lake or something.
It is Wild Lake.
Yeah.
Yes, it is Wild Lake. Only they had to get rid of all the signage at the beginning and board it up and then put up Gabby's restaurant there. So yeah, that's exactly where it was filmed.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, I want to go there for lunch now and see how it looks.
I know, and then it kind of feels like you're in her restaurant. Like, yeah, where is she?
Tourism, film tourism, man. It's like,
oh my God,
see where they shot all this movie. It's all over Gottingen Street. It's all over the North End. It's
even just like the shots of her apartment. I'm like, that's so Halifax. That's so like, and it even kind of reminded me of like just like Nova Scotia in general, like that kind of look and feel.
Peggy's Cove. Peggy's Cove, stuff out there, and I remember talking to Chelsea Perretti, and she said that it was unbelievably beautiful there, and how lucky are we that we get to go there whenever we want. It's only half an hour away.
I hope she liked Halifax.
She did.
Yeah.
She really did. She loved the city, and she loved the people, and she loved working on the movie. I could tell that she really enjoyed. It's her first role her first feature film role that she carries the movie.
That's right, main character.
She carried
main
the hell
character.
out of it.
She really, really freaking did. Yeah. And how long did the filming take overall?
Only like 2.5 weeks. It was
What?
$1 million budget, which is not a lot. It was only $1 million, and probably most of it went to Chelsea Perretti in her trailer.
No way! So 2.5 weeks to make a movie?
Weeks. Yeah, and that's
the actual
tight.
filming.
That's quick.
Right.
You'd prefer to have a little longer than that, but budgets are tight these days.
Right.
Like, that's about the time you get, 2 or 3
For
weeks.
that, like, wow, what an excellent job.
Now, a TV series, that's like making 6 or 8 little movies. Right?
Yeah,
Each episode is an hour, so I think they'll be filming Chapel Wait until November. So that's a long job. Right
That's what. If you had to pick one, gun to your head, movies or TV, which would you go with?
Ooh, movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Movies. Because you
Yeah.
can tell more detailed stories, and there's less pandering. I find with television, you have to I shouldn't say that because with Netflix and streaming services, we are at peak TV right now, and there is some really good shit coming out.
Ooh, what do you like? What are you into?
What do I watch?
I have no idea of your TV taste.
Me neither. I don't watch a lot.
I don't watch a lot right now.
Honestly, I try to get away from fiction as much as I can. I watch reality TV.
Do you really?
I watch Pawn Stars. I watch HGTV. I watch the news a little too much.
That's so funny.
I really liked Ozarks. I dug into that. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I like those kind of Breaking Bad type shows. But sometimes the drama's too much. I need to just chill out when I watch TV and watch stupid stuff.
Especially because you're kind of in it.
Yeah, RuPaul. I love RuPaul. I watch the shit out of
That's so
Drag Race.
surprising.
I love all that stuff.
What about these the Netflix dating shows?
I watched the Blind Love.
Oh, Love is Blind.
Love is Blind.
Yeah.
I watched that one.
That was wild.
Couldn't believe it. And then COVID hit, and it was like, well, that seemed normal compared to what we're doing now.
Right?
Yeah, I'll watch a few dating shows. They're fun.
I totally...
Painful. I'm thankful I'm not in the scene because I don't know what the hell I would do as a 40-year-old single guy nowadays.
That's terrible. Yeah, be very glad. Be very glad.
I am just pre-Tinder. I was like...
Really? How did you meet your...
Karaoke bar.
Shut up!
She sang Tragically Hip, I sang Meatloaf, and the rest is history.
Wait, so was it you weren't working the karaoke?
I was hosting.
Oh, you were?
She hit on the karaoke guy and did well.
Shut up! I didn't realize that's how you met.
Yeah, we met at the Fickle Frog, actually.
Man, that fucking place bringing so many people together.
Yeah, it was the she sang some hip, and after that I was like, oh.
Do you remember what song it was?
Blow It High Dough.
Great one!
Oh, maybe a little dirty, too. I don't know. Maybe she's hinting at something.
Subliminal messaging. So for people who do karaoke, I know that I have a few listeners who do karaoke.
I love karaoke.
What, in your opinion, makes a good karaoke song? This is very important. So many people pick the wrong songs.
Yeah, people want to be crowd pleasers, I think, a lot of the time. Or people want to get too crazy and do Eminem. I've never done... That was my favorite. I've never done karaoke before. Here's my song. Lose Yourself by Eminem. Are you fucking crazy? This is the hardest song you can ever do. And then they go up and they crap out halfway through. Yeah, go simple and something that you know and love.
Something that you know in your range.
That helps. Or something that you just you feel like doing.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing. If you feel... I always would say that to people. I'd say, hey, man, it's your dime. You sing whatever the hell you want to sing. Yeah, don't worry about the crowd.
That's so interesting because I always used to take the approach of you need a crowd pleaser.
Yeah. Well,
but sometimes that's both. Sometimes,
Depends what you feel like that night.
Okay.
I piss off the bar,
I need to know now. Now I'm really curious with the karaoke stuff. What is a song that when you see the friggin' slip of paper that says the song name that you go?
Picture Kid Rock. And Sheryl Crow. Every time, because it's the go-to couple song, right?
It is.
And the people that want to sing that, it's always 1:30 in the morning or 2 in the morning, and they've already are way too drunk to sing in general. It's 2 people, so that's problems. It's way higher than they think. It's a nightmare. I hate it. Every time I hear it, I leave the room. I press play and leave.
What about the Don't Stop Believing?
I love it.
Really? I love it too.
You can never sing Don't Stop Believing enough because I want to see. Most people suck singing it. But
yeah.
That's okay because the whole bar sings it, so it's fun. But sometimes people are really, really good at it. And you're like, oh my God, you hit every note that Stephen Perry hit. How did you do that?
That's
so sometimes
wild.
people kill it.
Yeah.
But you can't go wrong because like Sweet Caroline, Don't Stop Believing, any Elton John, any Billy Joel, No Doubt, any of that great 90s grunge, Gwen Stefani, all that stuff is
it works.
It works, and it's easy to sing. Maybe don't throw out some Pearl Jam. That's always a tough one. I see people say, I want to rock Pearl Jam. That's
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Love it. Sing it, please. It gives me a bathroom break, a smoke break. I can roll a joint, smoke a joint, order a beer. Please, sing Bohemian
Order a
Rhapsody.
pizza.
We love it. Yeah, karaoke hosts love long songs.
That's so, and you're pretty good
I don't
because
know if that's true, but I do.
You will, if someone is doing not so great or someone needs a little help, you'll sing with them sometimes.
Sometimes I will because it's so painful. You just, please, let's all sing along and help this person. A lot of times I'll say, fuck it, and say, I'm out of here. They let them burn their own.
Yeah. Let them be the dumpster fire that they are.
But it's karaoke. It's supposed to be bad. Oftentimes, if it's too good, nobody cares.
That's right.
If it's too good, it's like, oh, this person's a good singer. Next.
Right.
Oh, this person's crazy. This is fun.
And now while we're on the honesty subject of songs, let's talk wedding reception songs.
Yeah.
You've probably seen a lot of couples do their first dance.
Yeah.
What do you think is like the most cliche or most common
I think it's cliche when you use the number one song that summer.
Yeah, which is there was one summer that that John Legend song was like the only song couples picked.
Yeah, there was that. There's maybe 2 or 3 Ed Sheeran tunes that it's
yes,
just like this
everyone
song
has this.
Just came out. Don't you have a history with your loved one where you have maybe a song that you enjoyed when you were just dating or something like that? Like
so much better.
Does it have to be the most current top 40 radio song? So I find that a touch cheesy.
Yeah,
they're good songs, so you can't complain, and they're easy to dance to. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be perfect by Ed Sheeran again. This is the 5th time this summer, so it's a little cheesy, you know. But if you hear like, oh geez, a Tom Waits song come up, or
nice,
yeah, it's like
or a song that you don't know.
Something odd
because it's
from
so
the
much
30s even, you know,
it's so much more personable to them. Do you have a song with your lady?
We went through a lot. We did Heaven by Bryan Adams.
Oh, I love it.
But the only reason is because we'd like to rock out to that song.
It's a great one.
So it was more not so sentimental as this song just kicks ass as a ballad.
It is a kick-ass ballad.
And then we had a couple other ones, some Blue Rodeo tunes in there too.
Fucking love Blue Rodeo so much.
We chose as our slow songs for our wedding.
Did you have a big wedding?
No, very small, 50 people.
Yeah,
very tiny,
good for you.
Very small, hell of a dance party. We had a great time.
Where was it?
Prince George Hotel, which is my favorite venue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for weddings.
Prince George Hotel.
It's a great hotel. This staff is fantastic.
It really is truly
very good.
If you want to have a party and if you want people to get drunk, have your wedding in a hotel so that they don't have to worry about, oh, I have to drive a half hour out of the city to get to you. We're going to have to figure out, like make it as easy for your guests as possible.
Yeah.
You know?
So they can have a good time. Nobody drives home.
No one drives home.
Sure, they got to pay a little bit more, but it's worth it.
It's totally worth it.
The Weston's a great place to have a wedding.
That's a great
Prince
one.
George, I've worked at so many wedding venues around the town. I think all of them. Maybe. How many weddings did we do last year? I did 50.
Holy shit!
Weddings.
Holy shit!
So that's pretty much one a week.
That's madness.
It was a lot of weddings.
What's like the weirdest wedding that you've witnessed?
Weirdest one. It was a 4th wedding for this guy.
So oh my gosh!
4th wedding.
Holy smokes!
So it was kind of like same seats, everybody. You know, it was definitely not a celebration vibe in the room, and the DJ was set up like here, and then everyone else was like way over here, and the dance floor was in the middle. Nobody danced. It was awkward as shit.
Oh, I hate that.
It was like like an obligation. Everyone had to be there. There was no love in the room.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So
that sucks.
Usually 3rd or 4th weddings. Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, maybe just go to town hall.
Yeah, go to town hall.
Or do it in your living room.
Keep it small. You don't need to rent the same venue that you had your last wedding at.
Holy shit.
That's what the people were telling me at the Legion. They were like, oh, yeah, he got married here 2 years ago, and it was to a different lady.
That is wild.
Yeah.
So do you think you have a good eye? Okay, I'm like asking a lot of wedding questions now.
I'll take it, man.
Because you've witnessed so many.
Yes.
Do you ever have a good eye for like, this couple's not going to last, or this couple will last? Or...
I get nervous around the 21 and 22-year-olds that get
married.
They're high school sweethearts, and they lived on the same street, and they're 23 years old and
so
getting married, and they have more people in their wedding party than there are in the audience.
Oh my God.
12 people, 12 guys, 12 girls. I don't even have that many friends.
That is wild.
So I'm like, wow, 22. Like I was 34, I think, when I got married.
Yep.
So, and a lot of relationships in between there to try it out, to see. You got to try on the shoes before you buy the pair,
Holy
right?
smokes. I can't imagine that young.
Like the same person that you've been with since high school, and you're going to marry them, spend the rest of your life?
That's wild.
I don't know.
I would be shocked. It does happen. It can happen, but it is extremely rare that you would stay together after, you know, like high school sweethearts would stay together.
I always hope for the best, though. I always try to find the love in the room. And
that's some sweet.
Help that out, you know. But sometimes they're more concerned about the wedding being pleasing people than they are about pleasing themselves.
And that's the sad part about weddings, is that it is very like performative and like trying to prove things.
Yeah, like this is your party, you know what I mean?
I know.
Relax, have a good time with your friends. It's never going to happen again. So get drunk, stand on the table, break some shit, get in a fight.
That's right.
Do all that stuff. Don't make it boring. Don't have a boring wedding. That's the worst.
When I think of the best weddings I've been to, I don't know if they'll be listening to this, but I would say Jesse and Sandra, this was great over at
at
Wooden
the,
Monkey.
I was there, the Wooden Monkey.
Yeah, you did it. Yeah, you did that one.
That was a nice wedding. I really enjoyed that one.
That was fantastic. And Melanie and Ben's was amazing too. Yes. It was just very like chill. Like you're just like in a pub with your friends dancing and drinking.
And good people at the wedding. Good friends.
Good people.
Not too many extra people that are seat fillers.
That's right.
Why buy their meal? Just keep the local people.
Keep it small.
Keep it simple. And actually nowadays, what are they saying? Less faces, bigger spaces. Ooh. You know, for COVID-19, we gotta...
It's going to be interesting seeing what happens with weddings, like going forward, because you really got to plan a wedding. Yeah. And in this state of the world, like if you're trying to get married a year from now, who the fuck knows what's going to happen in a year from now?
Well, they're hoping.
You know,
we've got
like
a lot of 2021 bookings. We'll see.
Fingers crossed,
2020's
man.
Been canceled. We'll see what happens 2021.
God, that's so wild.
But things happen for a reason. So, I mean, I've been saying that, you know, maybe I need to focus more on, you know, when COVID-19 came, I was like, well, that just fucked all the work I have, every single job I ever had. Maybe it's time to reboot.
That's right.
Different.
How did you do mentally during the lockdown?
Poorly.
Were you someone who, because I feel like there's two types of people and there's no in-betweens. There's the people who really, really felt it and really got hit hard with it, like mentally. Yeah. And then there's other people who truly just rolled with it and these crazy people who are like thrive from having no plans and staying home all day. I don't know who you are.
How did you do
I don't.
Where were you on that spectrum?
I was on the like bad end. Yeah. Like it was really not good. Like probably the most depressed I've ever been.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah. What about yourself?
I had quite a few depressive episodes.
Yeah.
Where I couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
I didn't have much reason to. And it was hard. There was a few weeks, I'd say, where it was really up and down. I started off strong, though, because I was like, this is great. I've been preparing for this shit my whole life. I got food.
You got your locker.
Yeah, I got a food locker. We are set. I live out in the woods, in the bush now. Everything's fine. But, I think we all got a little COVID fatigue as time went on. The isolation. I don't have family here. I don't have a ton of close friends in Halifax, so I was really by myself for a long time. And I thrive by myself, but there are other times where I'm really hard on myself too. And so there were some times where I was really down in the dumps and other times where I felt bipolar half the time.
I agree.
I was painting the house one day and the next day I was drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, man.
And then I was doing yoga the next day and push-ups, and the next day I smoked a pound of weed,
Man, you're totally, I totally get that. Like the highs feel very high and then the lows feel very low.
I can't imagine some people who have a lot of mental health issues trying to get through this pandemic, and it's not getting easier, and it's not going to slow down. So we all have to really adapt
and also get used to like right now we're really lucky in Halifax because restaurants are open. Like some places are doing live music again. Like you can go out and socialize. We gotta be prepared for that to potentially be taken away again, and that's the sad part of all of this kind of thing.
It's a ride, and we're all on it together, and we have to be respectful of everybody, and I think we have to also be adaptive, and we have to be kind. And
wear your fucking masks.
Wear your fucking masks.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez, just put it on. It's no big deal.
I felt so bad because there's times that I'll have my mask on me, but I'll just all of a sudden really forget. Like you don't have to wear them outside. I was walking into Five Guys and I didn't think to put it on. And the person was like, do you mind wearing your mask? And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm that person. No. But I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. It's just 11 p.m. and I want a burger.
Next thing you know, you're outside finding a napkin and rubber bands. I want my burger.
Five Guys is so fucking good. Their French fries are like the best French fries.
As soon as Five Guys came, I was a vegetarian.
What?
I just turned vegetarian 6 months before Five Guys came, and that's my favorite burger place in the States.
No way.
And I'm like,
what was the veggie choice for health reasons?
Yeah, watching enough of those shows, and then it was health reasons and documentaries and education, and then I thought, what the hell, do it, and then it's never looked back, really.
It's genuinely, I think generally better for you, for sure.
I felt better. It's no miracle cure. I'm not any healthier, super healthier, but I haven't, I don't know. It's good.
It's a positive.
habit. It becomes a habit not eating meat, and it's easier.
That's interesting. And like I think it also helps if you like vegetables. Like I don't really like vegetables. So that's why I feel like I'm not motivated to eat them all the time. I don't think I've had a fucking vegetable in like 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't eat well.
We'll have to have you into the woods there. And
I would like. I just don't know. I
monster.
just don't cook. I don't cook.
A lot of beans and lentils.
Ooh, I do like lentils.
Chickpeas. And then they've got all that meatless stuff nowadays, so you can have a burger and still get that kick.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've never tried the Beyond.
It saved me. I don't think I'd still be a vegetarian if it wasn't for Beyond
Really?
Burger, because I had to get that fast food fix, right?
The greasy fix.
Greasy
What's
fix.
your favorite fast food?
Now it's A&W, just because it's the only place I can really go to get a greasy fix.
Okay, so I end the episode usually with 3 questions. And feel free to think on these a bit if you want. I can edit out the silence.
I think you should go with the first thing that pops in my head. That way there's no fucking around.
Something you really love about yourself and something you really hate about yourself that you're working on.
Yeah.
And an unpopular opinion. People have difficulty with that one. It can be silly. It can be like, I think this is better than this, or it can be deep, or it can be controversial. Yeah. But it's the end of the episode, and that's why I ask at the end, because the real troopers get to hear it.
Oh, well, thank you if you're still listening. And thank you for having me on. And
yes.
Promote this movie. I really appreciate that very much. What do I love? What was it again?
A quality that you love about yourself.
My adaptability, my ability to fend for myself, and I've never really been dependent on many people other than myself. So I've always been proud that I've been able to adapt and hustle and do stuff for myself.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah, roll with the punches, and also be motivated enough to get things done. So yeah, I think my adaptability and ability to kind of be a lone gun.
So we could throw like zombie apocalypse. They'll be fine.
No problem. I'm
really?
Ready. No, I'm ready. I just need a few good people with me. That's important. You can't do it alone. But
damn.
Oh yeah.
I feel like you could do it alone though.
Maybe for a year. No, you need people. You need strong people, and I think something I don't like about myself.
It's a tough one.
It is, but it's I have a lot of I have addictions, and I've got things that I. Maybe a few addictions and habits that I wish I had kicked in my 20s or in my 30s. Maybe a few substance abuse issues that tend to help certain aspects of life.
Yeah.
My acting career in general.
Yeah, it helps it?
Well, who knows, but we have habits, and they,
well, it's a hard industry to, it would be hard to avoid those things in acting. And also, I would say, like, nightlife jobs.
Yes.
As well, because so much of the culture would be, like you do your set or you do your event, and like you have a fucking beer at the end, or you unwind. It's like the unwinding
and as a
culture.
As a gig worker or somebody who's self-employed, you have downtime. And I wish I was able to fill that downtime with more valuable things, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. And
right.
So I'm working on those things, I think, and keeping positive, I find is an effort sometimes.
Right.
But,
You tend to go. Do you go to negative?
I can.
I can too.
Yeah,
it's a big issue.
I can tend to dwell in the negativity sometimes. It's hard. I think if I could be better, I would rather be a healthy person that went to the gym all the time and ate proper food. I wish I could do all that shit, but I'm also lazy. And, So I would change that about myself too.
That's a hard thing to do, though. To be perfect at everything is close to impossible.
Yeah.
And so like people like truly just have to try their best at everything.
Yeah.
Like just put a little effort into every aspect that you want, and
don't fake it. I find it hard to be the authentic me without building up all this other shit. And I find that everyone's the best when they're the most themselves.
The most radically
authentic.
themselves. Yeah.
And relaxed and So
unpopular opinion. I love these ones.
That I'm cocky or that I brag. Somebody once told me that.
Oh, someone told you that?
Yeah, he was drunk at the bar and he said, "Oh, I saw you on." I'm not on social media now, but when I was, I saw you on Facebook bragging about your film career, and I was like, "Oh, maybe I do. Maybe
what?
I do." So I'm nervous that people would think that being a hot shot or anything. When generally I like to share the work that I do, but I don't want to brag and be like, oh, I'm a trailer park boy, or I'm doing with Chelsea Perretti. It's that fear. So yeah,
there's definitely but that's good because that shows that you're humble. Like the fact that you have that fear.
I do. I don't want people to think that I'm a cocky guy who takes any of this shit for granted. And I had one guy tell me that one time, so it kind of like...
Oh, I hate when that happens and just like sticks with you.
You can have 20 people tell you, hey, you're great or you're a nice guy and really appreciate you. One person says something negative and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, man. Do you ever on that subject, do you ever look at comments, like YouTube clips of you, or do you ever look at the comments? Because the comment section is fucking...
Trailer Park Boys are... The fans of that show are relentless.
Yeah.
And if they don't like you on the show, they will tell you, this character sucks. I hate this guy. So there was a lot of that.
Really?
Trailer Park Boys. Yeah, especially on chat groups and Reddit and things like that. I hate that guy with the slingshot. He's all whiny. But... part of the job is to be hated and to be remembered.
That's right. They're hating the character, not you.
Yeah, so I never really took it. I was like, good, hate them. I like that. You should hate them. You should like those guys and hate the bad guys. So that's never too bad. But comments are death.
A lot of celebrities will just radically be like, I'm not reading them.
Yeah.
Or they actually disable comments on their Instagram or things like that. And I'm like, there's something to that. But I do also think there's something to... actually seeing, being ballsy enough to see what other people are saying about you, total strangers that don't know you.
Seeing those reviews, seeing what they think, but it can stay with you. It can haunt you. Sometimes it's easier just to turn it off. I had to do that with social media. I found the pandemic really...
Did you really? I was going to say, I couldn't find you on there. Are you on there?
I didn't unfriend you.
That's okay.
I closed my accounts.
You closed them all. Good for you, though, because it is such a fucking echo chamber of shit.
It can be, and it's designed to make you upset, so you will click more.
Yep.
Because hate and those discomfort are quicker feelings than trust and love. Those take a longer time. Facebook algorithms aren't interested in that. They're interested in quick immediacy. So they want you to hate this post and hate that, and
rant in the comments on
so
this.
They show you more of that stuff. So I found it to be terrible for my mental health, especially during the pandemic. So I read a book called 10 Reasons to Delete Your Social Media Accounts Now.
Whoa!
By Jared Lanier, who's a Silicon Valley guy. And I read that and I said, I'm going to give it a shot for 6 months and see how I feel. Yeah, and it's been great. I don't miss it.
So do you feel clearer as a person?
I wouldn't have contacted you if I was still on Facebook. I wouldn't have contacted many other people because you get comfortable in your comments and your
That's so fascinating.
But now I find I'm reaching out to the 15 or 20 people in my life who I think are important, who do good things and important things, and it makes me want to reach out more directly to people as opposed to the 500 strangers that are on my account.
That's right.
So I've actually found that my connections are stronger without it because I'm contacting the people who are
who stick out.
Yeah.
Who
stick out, like you stick out. I was like, I got to contact her.
Well, I'm so glad because we talked earlier on in the podcast of you coming on. I think you and your lady. I thought at one point we talked about that.
We talked in a bar drunkenly about it a while ago.
You want to come on and talk about your relationship? I love asking personal questions about people's relationships.
I think we did a little podcast on that patio there too.
Probably. No, I'm glad you reached out because it was perfect timing because I saw that the movie was coming out and
I thought you might like the movie.
Oh, the movie was amazing.
And even if you didn't like it, I'd be happy to talk about that as well. Maybe.
Can you imagine?
Hey, I'd be fine with that.
This movie stunk.
I still got paid, so.
So we gotta tell people where they can find. Now that you're not on social media, they can't really find you anywhere.
Right.
But you can certainly reach out to me if you have film work for this gentleman.
Oh, absolutely. I have a website as well.
Oh, what's your website?
davidrossetti.ca.
Fuck yes.
2 S's and 2 T's in Rossetti. So I've got a website there that has all my work on it and stuff that's coming up. So I can brag, I guess, on my website as opposed to on a third-party website.
That's right.
And the film can be seen on iTunes. You can rent it or download it on iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
You can get it on Amazon. I think it's going to be on Netflix. And
I was gonna ask that.
It's a perfect little Netflix movie.
Oh my gosh, it would do so well on there.
So I bet you in 6 months, maybe a year, it'll be on Netflix as well. But you can get it on any streaming platform right now.
That will be wild. It's truly such a lovely movie. Everyone, you gotta watch it.
Hey, you got to watch movies that are shot locally. You know, we got to support our local filmmakers.
Holy shit, and it's just beautiful. Everything about the way I could go on forever about it. It's great. You gotta watch Spinster. And thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me.
This was great.
This opportunity to talk about the movie, and I've never done anything like this before, so thank you very much.
Did you have fun?
I had a blast.
Not as bad as you think, eh?
No, I was really nervous.
Oh my god! It's so funny when people say that they're nervous.
Because you're so good at this.
I
just got to slide in there.
I'm having, it's interesting because I'm having you on now, and then I'm having a magician on who actually, he's local, he's a friend of mine, and he got on Penn and Teller's TV show recently, and so I reached out and I was like, do you want to come on and talk about magic? I'm just like reaching out to anyone who's doing cool shit. Like,
characters of town.
Characters, like I say, comedians, characters, and creators are like the people I want. So, like you don't have to be a comedian as long as you're fucking fun.
Don't be a boring guest. Please.
Don't be a boring guy. Like, I don't like like I would never say yes. Usually when someone's boring, I won't say no, but I'll say I'll get back to you.
Yeah. That was those first 2 emails you sent me. I'll get back to you on that. No, I'm kidding.
Like, I'll get back to you. I'll let you know when something opens up, and then nothing opens up. So big thank you, Dave, for coming over. Thanks for the wine as well. He brought me a bottle of wine. So sweet.
And some chocolate. If I've learned one thing from your podcast, wine and chocolate are good things.
I'm getting into that right after this. And you get to ring the bell to end the episode. You get to give it, I'll put it on here. You can give it a good bell ring. Yeah, we did it.